You guys, welcome to Caligurl Live, and this is our Expat Encounters episode 3. And today I have two of the original players from the Himalayas. Yes, my favorite couple in Panama. You guys, introduce yourselves.
We got it, baby.
Oh, hello. I am Kiki Black.
Oh, well, I thought you were going to give a whole production.
So Kiki Black, international certified personal trainer, flexibility coach, and femininity expert here in Panama. And this is my man.
Michael J. Bravo here. New to Panama. What? We not new to Panama. We stationed here, you heard it? But I'm a health and wellness coach, focusing on discipline and the powers of fasting to give the body healing and mental clarity.
And who's this?
This little guy here is Lobo. He was conceived here in Panama. So Lobo Zohar Matthews is his full name, and he is an ayahuasca baby.
6 months.
Yeah.
6 months old.
Feliz cumpleaños, Lobo. Yes, you guys, that's my future nephew. He just doesn't know it yet, but I'll be Auntie Callie for life.
Yeah. He knows. He definitely knows.
Okay, so you guys, I've already had this couple on here before. I know a little bit of their background story. It's insanely interesting. I'm a fan, and at the end of this interview, you guys are going to be a fan too. So give the people what they want to know. How did you guys meet?
Well, this is my favorite part right here. I love this part.
I wanted to see if Kiki's going to blush this time.
So we've known each other in the health and wellness space for a while, and I've always heard of her, seen her around people that we both know. And so we had an event in Aruba 2022, and we go, and a buddy of mine, he said, hey, who's all going? And at the time, I was just ending a relationship, and I said, man, these some of the girls that's going. And he said, Kiki there. He said, bro, I've told you before, this the type of chick you need to be with. This woman fits you. I said, I will. See, I said, man, you know, she just had a divorce, so I ain't really tripping, you heard me? So we get there, and I look around, and I see it, I'm like, you know what? I gotta have her, yo. So I got to know her more there, got to get all up in her business. She didn't even know I was vetting, you heard me? I'm asking all these questions, being real, like, you know, supportive, caring, listening. You know, I had to put the game on there. And then, no lie, I knew I was going to make a move on from jump, you know? And so I said, you know what, I'm feeling her. And from there, Aruba, she challenged me to come see her in Atlanta. And so when I went to Atlanta, I was like, man, you know, I'm feeling this woman. And I'm like she kind of holding me down for real. And I was going through a very down space at the downtime because I just lost a brother. And so just being with her gave me a lot of comfort, like just kind of going through my grief. And so she showed me some things when I got stuck in Atlanta for 48 days? Got stuck in Atlanta for 48 days, intentionally stuck. Before I came back to Panama. And so while I was there, she kept saying, I want to see you for Christmas. She's like, I would love to bring the new year with you. Say, I would love to spend time for your birthday. And I was like, man, this woman really showing me that she wants to be around me. And even though I'm used to like dating, but I've never been accustomed to a woman like really like, hey, I'm trying to be around you. Like, I really want to spend this time with you. And so while I was there, I said, you know what? I said, come on, guy. Like, I'm trying to be in these streets, Colombia, Panama, Argentina streets, you heard me? And my heart was just like, yo, you might not get another opportunity to experience what this is because you know what's out there in the streets. It ain't much out there, bro. So this might be a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I always tell guys, if you want to know if a woman is the right one for you, ask yourself, is she worth giving up all other women for? Like giving up all of them. I've never been a one-woman man. And I'll say, you know what? The answer was yes. And I said, hey, look, we've been doing this a little bit for almost a year. I said, when your lease up? She said, it's up in October. I said, well, look here. If you want this to work, you got to move. and she called my bluff. And now we out here.
And have him. Yeah.
Is it the same from you, Kiki, or did he put like extra Hollywood on it?
Listen, I was just minding my business.
It's perfect though. If you guys ever tune into their Instagrams, this is like the perfect way, like the intention, the masculine intention, and the feminine, reception. And so that's kind of inspiring. I feel like that's the energy that I get from watching both of their channels. So to hear that story, I learned a new clue too. I didn't realize that you had already been affiliated through the health and wellness sector. I thought you had just met for the first time. So you already, okay, you were intentional.
When you, as a man moving out of the country, I say, man, I want to explore. I want to have fun. I've been accustomed to America. I just want to travel the world, meet all these women, just live up the life. Had this jet setter lifestyle in my head. And honestly, I found more peace, more joy by doing something I thought I would never do. I say, I don't want to be with no one woman. What's one woman going to do for me? Everything. You feel me? So once you meet somebody that tickles your fancy in all of your senses, you know what I'm saying? Satisfies all senses. It's a no-brainer,
There's no other Kiki Black roaming around in any other country, state, city.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Bravo scored for sure.
I won. I'll tell everybody, man, I won. I won big.
You won big. So,
and I don't think I did too bad either.
You did not do bad at all. You guys are winning. You guys are a hand in glove for sure. So Bravo, you were already back and forth to Panama, so you were kind of acclimated. Whereas Kiki, you hadn't really been here before, so you had initial expectations for Panama moving here with your new man. What is the expectations versus the reality of where you're at right now?
So I had visited Panama once before. When I was in college, I studied abroad in Costa Rica, and I did a weekend trip to Panama. I don't know where in Panama I was, but it was not Panama City. And when I tell you, I was like, I will not be back ever. So when he told me that he lived in Panama, I'm like, this can't. I'm looking at the pictures. I'm like, yeah, And so I visited him twice before I moved. I visited him. I visited him for my birthday, and I came. I'm like, oh my gosh! I don't know where I went for this weekend trip, but this was not that. And I loved it. And I had always said that I would, after I graduated with my undergrad, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go back to Costa Rica. And I just never did. And did the whole job thing in Atlanta and got married and all the other stuff there. And I was like, man, I really like this. And visited again, loved it again. The energy of Panama was just peace. Just summing it up in one word, it was just peaceful. And so when he asked, I was like, oh, I'm like, yeah, I was like, maybe this is just maybe I accidentally manifested this. We're talking about Costa Rica, and I was like, I wanted to do it, but I was a little bit unsure. So I talked to my dad about it, and I'm thinking my dad is going to be like, oh, girl, no. And he's like, yeah, do it. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, do it. He's like, if it doesn't work out, just come back. And I was like, oh. So I came, I moved, I got rid of my apartment, and Panama has exceeded my expectations. Definitely exceeded my expectations. I love it here. This is definitely home. I still have people. I've been here almost 2 years now. It'll be 2 years in October. And every now and then I'll still get somebody that's like, wait, so what did you do with your apartment? I'm like, I got rid of it. I moved to this is an extended vacation. I live here. This is home. And baby Lobo's here now. I love it here.
Yeah. What's up? So you're thriving as a couple, and that was your expectations on moving here and starting this life together, right?
Yes. The life we envisioned started earlier than expected.
Yeah.
But I believe that was all God's time. We've kind of hit the speed button on some of the things that we had intentionally planned out. And so I say, you know what? I trust God's timing. And I say, you know what? This is it. And our lives has honestly has been only elevating, getting better.
Definitely.
You know, the relationship has definitely grown stronger. And you would think like, hey man, people get together, they have a kid, some things get bad because now like someone doesn't feel like they get enough attention, enough love. And that's not the case. One thing I constantly say all the time, I'm like, now I don't care what's happening. Of like, if God gives you a vision and you follow your discipline to that vision, all things will work out in your favor. You can't be out here like I'm going to go against the vision God showed me because I want to be in control. When God gives you a vision and say, hey, I'm starting you on this path now, accept it. Once you accept it and find love in it, it makes it so much more enjoyable.
Yes. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. You guys, I feel like the paparazzi, like I just couldn't wait to interview you guys because I have so many questions so that I can just clear up a lot of things for people who aren't here. People are really like vibing about Panama. And so I feel like the questions keep coming. So let's talk about this family life thing, you guys. You guys started a family here. What was give us a quick, like little, what do you call it? Cliff notes of the conception to delivery. And then let's go into more detail about it as you discuss it.
Okay. So the conception, it was my birthday, you heard me? And we went to Sandblast just to get some vacation. We were living in a penthouse and we're like, yo, this is what our life is about to be like. And God told me in December, hey, you're playing with fire, but if you choose not to pay attention, I'm going to start this. And I said, all right, God, I'm going to listen. I didn't listen. And so I knew she was pregnant. I knew she was pregnant in February before she even told me. And so when she told me, I was like, oh yeah, it's a boy. I said, you're pregnant, it's a boy. And when she said, she's like, I can't believe it. So we go to the doctor. It was like, we don't want to know. I already know it's a boy. And so fast forward to March, we had to decide, okay, we can't, our life now is changing. We are now about to be parents. So the jet setter penthouse with everybody, we need to find a place to raise a family for right now. And so we started preparing to move, got us a spot. I told everybody he was going to be born on October 20th in March 17th, and that's when he was born. So fast forward, we have him. God got us home. Like we went through a lot of tests. I would say, me personally, went through a lot of tests of God's challenging me to start trusting in His provision. And when I leaned into trusting His provision, God made everything a lot easier for us. You know, so. And then he came October 20th. She did a natural birth. I'm gonna let her go into that. And becoming a parent out here, it's an experience I don't think anyone in America would understand, because even in the States, whether you're co-parenting, a single parent or whatnot, being isolated in Central America, it puts you in a place where like it's just us. You know, yeah, we go visit, people visit, but at the thick of it, it's us. Like He's all we have here. You know, so it's like everything is focused on you. So the help comes from each other, the support comes from each other. You know, and I wouldn't even call it sacrifices. It's the opportunity to be present. You know, because we with Him every day. You know.
So I do want to go back just a little bit. So with the conception part, I didn't think I could get pregnant. I had previously, in my previous marriage, I had been trying. It was not working. So coming to Panama, having better food here, being active, and starting fasting. Michael was fasting. Now he's the fasting dude. He's a fasting expert. You know, just finished the 20-day water fast. So that's a whole nother topic. But we started fasting and was doing a day a week fasting into the 3 days. And the combination of all of that, the food here, having the stress down, being more active, walking everywhere because we don't drive here. And then it healed my body, essentially healed my body. And so he said he knew. I did not know, because I was like, hey, to be in a place where you're intentionally trying and it's not working, never, like ever, this baby Lobo is the only time I've ever been pregnant, ever. Even when I was trying. So that in itself just shows how like Panama or being outside of the U.S. can take the stress down. Eating better, being active, and then of course incorporating that fasting in really is a game changer. I was a little bit nervous at first after I got pregnant because I'm like, wait, I'm here by myself. Of course, he's here. But, you know, having like my mom here, which I would have expected previously, that wasn't the case. But honestly, I wouldn't have done it any other way. Now that it's happened, the medical and healthcare system here is just, I'm not necessarily the healthcare system, but the medical assistance is amazing. Shout out to Dr. Roberto Lewis at Panama Clinic. That was my doctor from the beginning. Went there to confirm the pregnancy, make sure it was real. I'm like, is this real? And stayed with him the entire time, kept me healthy. And the biggest difference that I can see from what the U.S. to here is that, at least with Dr. Roberto Lewis, is they actually care. It's not a money thing. They actually care about your well-being. If you have concerns, if there's a certain way that you want to do things, we are very much so into health. And so there were certain things that I just didn't want to do within the pregnancy and giving birth. And I expressed those to him, and he listened to what I said. Even when I was giving birth and I didn't even remember the things that I had put on my birth plan, like he listened. I remember being, which let me know if I'm jumping ahead on this, but I remember when I was in labor and I was about to have baby Lobo, and I was in the room and there was this beautiful view overlooking like the city and water, and I'm like, oh my gosh. But I'm like, going through contractions and stuff, and I remember the nurses coming and closing the windows, the curtains, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why would they do that? Well, what I forgot is in my birth plan I said that I wanted it to be dark. I forgot that I asked for that, but they did not. I also asked for music, like slow meditation music, as well as like some worship music. Again, I forgot about that. They came with the speaker. I had packed the speaker in the bag, forgot about the speaker. They went and got another speaker and was like, give me your phone, I'm gonna connect this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what are they talking about? Okay, because there is a language barrier there. But everything that I wanted, they made sure that it happened. So now, of course, then it wasn't like, I wasn't like, doing cartwheels or anything else. More going through the pain because it was an unmedicated birth. But I can't imagine a better birth experience than what I had here in Panama. The doctor was there the entire time. It wasn't one of those situations, which I know in the U.S., a lot of times the doctor doesn't come in until the baby is there. And he was there the entire time, like literally connecting my phone to a speaker. Like, I don't know how many doctors would do that in the U.S. It's like, no, I'm not getting paid for that in their head. And being right there with us, we were able to do different like positions and exercises. I was like, hey, I don't want to be laying on this bed. Like, this isn't natural to be laying on my back giving birth. And he's like, come on and do these exercises here. Try this, try that. I'm like, I'm just gonna lay over here. They're like, no, what you said? I'm like, I'm good. And it was honestly an amazing experience. Even from being in the shower, Mike came in the shower with me. The doctor came peeking his head in, go, okay, you need anything? Hey, if you feel this, if you feel like you have to poop, that is the baby. Do not please let me know. So it was truly an amazing experience.
Yeah, like just going through that experience as a man. If you're going to have children in Panama, please get a private doctor.
Yes.
A lot of people are like, oh, well, you got to pay this, you have to pay that. It's best to get a private doctor. One being, Lobo got sick when we got back from the States recently, a month ago. And we go to the children's hospital because it was a holiday. The whole city was shut down. So our doctor, our pediatrician, was unavailable. She's like, oh, we won't be back until for some days. So she said one hospital is open, the children's hospital. So we go there. It's a public hospital. Being at the public hospital, I learned that when you have children, guess what? Only one parent is allowed to come in. One parent in to do all the communication and everything, and then I had to stand outside. I also learned while standing outside that across the street was the maternity ward. Right?
Yeah.
So it was the maternity ward. I'm wondering why all these guys are outside. You can't even be in attendance while giving birth. And I was like, oh no. They said I think it was about like $300 to have it over there or less.
No, it was 50.
$50. I thought it said 50 or $60. So I was like, oh, that's gonna be cheap. And I said, man, what kind of experience would that be? What experience did you get with $60, right? And in my head, I said, it's gonna probably be a room with curtains, like slide back and forth, like shower curtains, and then there's gonna be beds, and they just popping out babies. That's what I'm thinking in my head. And I'm like, we don't want that. We want a place that we can be comfortable, secure, and confident that Lobo is gonna come. She's gonna have a successful birth. And so as I'm watching these guys over there, once the birth is done, they have to end up booting you out, because I saw women walking out with newborn babies out of there. I was like, wait, huh? So they just driving people out of there? And I'm like, nah, we actually had a recovery room after the birth. And so if you're going to have children in Centro, in Panama for sure, I can't speak for other countries, but Panama, please get a private doctor. It's going to be a lot better. We paid almost $4,000 for the whole process. So I would highly recommend it, because in America, we would have paid, my buddy paid, I think, 52 racks to have his daughter. And I was like, that's ridiculous. But here, everything that we got, the doctor visits was just $110, I think we paid a month. I think something like that, like $100 a month just to see the doctor. Like she said, the communication, even though the language barrier, that they actually are patient. They actually do care about your concerns, how you want the birth to go, and informative with answering all of your questions.
Yeah.
So highly recommend, if you're going to give birth in Central America, Panama specifically, get a private doctor, because a public hospital, you will probably, someone's going to be alone. The mother's probably likely going to be alone, and you don't want your wife going through that experience. And when it comes to vaccinations here, we learn private doctors are going to cost. They're going to cost a lot for vaccinations. We were being charged, I think, about $300 and something for his 3-month vaccination.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, another holiday was going on. We couldn't go. A client of mine here informed me about a place that we go get a vaccination that was open. It was free. Same vaccination. It was free. So when it comes to giving birth and pregnancy, private doctor. Vaccinations, it's all the same. Go public. We were in there maybe 20 minutes. So yeah, just for anybody that's thinking about getting vaccinations and stuff like that, they're free. And I'll shoot you, if you want to put it in the note, I'll shoot you the place that we went. And we go next week with other updated vaccinations as well.
That's what's up. Yeah, you guys, will put all this information in the description below for you, as well as that doctor too.
He's awesome.
Yeah. So like, can we get an idea of the fees? Like, did you guys do this with an insurance plan, or was it just?
We paid out
some of the fees.
We paid out of pocket. So if you get insurance here, which we couldn't because we're not residents, we're not like citizens here, right? So we couldn't sign up. But now that we have him, all that, he can have it, right? So, but the doctor visits, $100, I think it was $100.
80. And then it ended up being, like, with the extra vitamins and things like that, it ended up being a little bit more.
About $100 a month. I would say about 100. So all that $100 a month. So that we went to him 8 times. So $800 to $1,000 that you'll probably pay depending on how long your how long your term is. That's the doctor visits. And
I don't want to interrupt you, but one thing to note for the ladies is you get your ultrasound every single time. I know in the U.S. you only have like a couple ultrasound. Every single time up into the day that I had baby Lobo, I got an ultrasound, a 3D or 4D ultrasound of the baby every time.
Heart monitors, everything, all of it. And you do have to take, if you have a private doctor, you're going to insist that you take these tests, Down syndrome tests, some type of test for like his blood.
Yeah, and want to make sure that he has all of his fingers, all of his toes.
So we had some type of 3D imaging. It was wild because, like, of course, this is our first child, but I didn't know they even do this type of stuff, like high tech things. And that test was $250. So include that in. We had another test that was maybe $160. His first, like I said, the vaccination when you first have them at the hospital, we paid $160. Another $160. You have circumcision, $200.
I think it was $250
for circumcision.
So that's one thing to note too. So in the U.S., it's a lot more, right, to give birth and all of that. But it's normally one fee and they bill it. For Panama, especially if you are not a citizen here, there is no billing anything. You pay all the money up front and everything is separate. So we paid our doctor separately, then we paid for our pediatrician, which pediatrician had to be there when he was born, of course, which was separate from the recovery room, which was separate from the actual birth of it. Now, altogether, it ended up being like right under $4K.
It was like, well, with all that circumcision and everything, that with the doctors, all that, that day, you mean for just those 3 days? About 3 days. Well, the whole process, I'm going to say have about $6,000 aside. $6,000 to take care of everything. Yeah,
$6,000 to conceive a baby to delivery.
Yeah, because you added us our monthly visits, all the tests that we did, the test, the 250 test, the circumcision, the pediatrician, the vitamins. I mean, even with the pharmacy, that stuff they gave us. I would say at the most, because by the time we had them, and I was like, all right, what we got to pay? We had already spent about $2,500, and we had to finish $1,200 for our room, and she had a suite.
Yeah, it was nice.
So you have 3 levels you can get. You can get the basic room. Fellas, don't do that one. Like, get something that you be comfortable. You gonna be the one sleeping on that floor, in that uncomfortable chair. And so, get the upgrade version. And I had a nice little bed. They made a nice little bed for me. It was way comfortable in that chair that they had in there. Food's gonna be included. You get 3 meals. You get breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the 2 days you're gonna be there. We had Lobo in the morning. You ladies, I didn't know this. Take advantage of the 24-hour delivery time. Labor time that you get.
Oh, yeah.
That suite is so off the chain.
So nice.
Now, with us not knowing this, we go into labor Saturday night at 8 p.m. The Georgia game just ended. And I'm like, she said, I want to labor at home as long as possible. If I'd have known that we was going to get that luxurious room, I was like, now we going out here tonight. Man, that view was so lit. I was like, man, we sat at home and we could have been in this. Oh my God.
It was really nice.
So please go get your money's worth. We only spent 4 hours, maybe 5 hours of our labor room. And that was the view she was talking about. And so go take advantage of that because you paid for it. And once you're done there, they take you to your recovery room. And our recovery room was real nice, spacious, and comfortable. You have a lot of doctors come check on you. They feed the baby. We didn't want Lobo on formula. And so we had,
That's another thing that I'll say for the ladies too. So when I initially had Lobo, my milk was not there, right? For I think it was 2 days. And one day, it felt like eternity because my baby needed to eat. But I had gotten to a point where I was just like frustrated. I'm like, hey, y'all just give them formula until I can figure out what's going on. And they're like, oh no, you gotta keep doing it. Like they literally, the nurses, the doctors, they're like, no, you said you was breastfeeding, so we're about to figure this out. And I'm like, no, just feed it. I'm like, it's not working. They're like, he's gonna keep like they're like showing. And they come back in, they're like, hey, like, no, when I tell you, they were on it. And I was like, in the time, I was like frustrated, but they were like, no, like, we're doing this. This is what we said. We're doing this. Like, it ain't no switching up. And long and behold, I woke up and I was like, wait, am I going to sleep? And I started feeding him. So I really appreciate that, because I felt like in the U.S., it may have been a little bit different if I would have been like, oh, I'm just going to do formula. And like, okay, you know, and they would have went on about their business. One thing to note, too, is that they do charge you for, like, the pads and stuff that they give you after birth.
So get your own.
Yeah, get your own. And I noticed, I don't know if you picked up on this too, they kind of added it in at the end anyway. So the ones that they already had there, so I just took them home with me, but it's like $20 for a pack that would have cost like $8. But yeah, get your own stuff. So if you ask for more, they'll give it to you, but just know that they are going to charge you for that, and it's probably going to be overpriced. So I would definitely suggest kind of bringing your own stuff with you in your bag, so you don't have to get it from them.
And fellas, something that guys need to know: you're going to be taken to the room when they weigh him, do the prints for his feet, hands, and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So they're going to ask you. So if you don't know Spanish, just need a little bit. When they're going to give him a shot. It's mandatory in the country of Panama. You have to get this hepatitis shot. Like there's no way around it. And then the other shots, there's like 4 other shots that they ask you, do you want your child to have? I decline. We're not big on vaccinations. We get the ones that we know he'll need, like the protocol that was done in the 80s. Like this whole thing that's coming out in the new 2000s, I don't trust. So therefore, he get the shots that people was getting like in the 80s, you heard me? So I declined 3 of those shots, and he did get the one that was mandatory for Panama. And outside of that, you'll go back. They'll ask you, is the baby being breastfed or he needs formula? Lobo was 5.5 pounds, so they were concerned that his blood sugar would drop, and so we had to give him formula that first day. But he only had formula maybe 3 times the whole time he was in the hospital, and outside of that, never had it.
So I have a question. Like, what if there is no father? Who goes with the baby while the mom?
Nobody. So if there's no one's there, they're doing it, and I guess they will come ask the mother, what does she want to do? I won't even lie to you. Like for the private doctors, I think we saw one woman that was solo dolo. But in that, all the fathers were present. It was like so. I would highlight, and if there's any ladies out there that's going to be giving birth in Panama solo dolo, I would definitely recommend you get a family member to come visit for that week or whatnot. You're going to need the help, especially when it comes to the language barrier. She was tired, drugged up, like dozing off, and I had to communicate. You're not going to be able to communicate properly the way you need to. Girl, you was up in the thing like this.
I was tired. I didn't have no medication to.
Well, I'm not those. You know what I'm saying? The after part. You was drugged up. You was knocked out sleep. So I would highly recommend you have someone come with you. You know, don't do it solo though, because like I can't imagine seeing her go through that by herself. Yo, whoo, man, that would have been scary.
One thing that I will say is the nurses, we didn't realize it at the time. We were freaking out because we're like, okay, what are they doing with our baby? But they take the baby and they kind of like, I don't want to say take care of them, but basically like when you stay those extra days, they are essentially helping you to get some rest before it gets real. I remember it was a couple times that we were like, well, what's taking so long? I thought they were just
on like 4 hours.
I was like freaking out. Like I was trying to walk out the room. Like, what are y'all doing with my baby?
She was panicking. And you cannot leave your room.
Oh yeah, I tried to.
The mothers cannot. You are, for one, reason one, I learned the hard way. They think you trying to leave without paying. we not. So by being here, you dip out, they can't find you. And they're like, no, that baby cannot leave this place. The mother cannot leave that room. Once we paid, they was like, all right, bye. They're like, all right. But until they keep you there for the allotted time you're there, and they don't bring you nothing. They don't want you going nowhere.
Yeah.
There's a security guard that's going to be out 24 hours around the clock. So you come out that room, if she come out that room, oh, security coming, playboy, back in the room. So we learned that when she was going for a walk, they say get up and walk around.
Yeah.
They meant do that in your room. So that's why you need to get an upgraded deluxe room or the suite, the second or third level room, not the standard. That bad boy looks like a matchbox.
Wow, you guys, this is insane. Like, this is good information, and this is real. Like, man, because there's concerns. Like, I feel like as a younger lady, that was my concerns in the States. The doctor, I felt like the women doctors or the doctors for women were very negative, and it was like scary to think about like having a baby with that. Like, because it's an experience. And I'm like, if the doctor's already on this kick, and I don't even have a kid yet, like, what's going to be like during pregnancy? So I feel good to hear like all of this positive, experience. So you need to be relaxed so that the baby can come out relaxed if you're all stressed out.
They are really big on that. Like, especially I can't speak for all that, but Dr. Roberto, I would definitely say he has 2 boys. And he's like, hey man, it's gonna be okay. Cause we had a scare during labor. Like, Lobo stopped moving. The contractions, like everything was stopping. And so we went and got him checked. And that's when they're like, oh no, he coming today.
Like, he's good.
And so 12:19 p.m. But he popped out.
He just got over the p.m. in the middle of the day.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay, so how's the postnatal care resources for new parents? What kind of support system do you guys have?
So Dr. Roberto checked in a little bit in text message, and I guess because I had a natural birth and didn't have any complications or anything like that, I didn't really need anything. So after I had Lobo that following Saturday, so I had him on Sunday, the next week I went back in, he did a final check, he did another ultrasound just to make sure that everything was doing what it was supposed to do. And I'm like, okay, so like, what do I do next? He was like, nothing. You come back in 6 months to a year for your regular checkup. Like, you're good to go. I was like, oh wait, so that's it? I can do whatever? He was like, yeah. And then I'm like, okay, well, do I need to come back in before I start exercising? He was like, no, wait 6 weeks. And then so after the 6 weeks, I checked in with them. I had a couple of things going on with some bleeding that I wasn't sure if it was okay. It was like the bleeding had stopped and then it started back. So I was like, did I mess up something? And he was still there. He sent me a message on WhatsApp. He's like, hey, just chill out, whatever you're doing. Take it a little bit slower. Don't walk, don't go, because, I might have been doing just a little bit too much.
Way too much.
So he told me to just relax, and like to this day, if I need anything, I can send him a message. I asked about some things for mood and like hormones and stuff after. He gave me feedback on that. It wasn't like a thing where it's like, oh, well, you're not paying me no more. You're done. Like, I'm not talking to you anymore. He was still there. Like, as if I was like hitting up one of my homeboys, just seeing what's up. It was like very much there. And it's so interesting too, because he still checks in, I want to say, at least this is in my head, because I'll see him every now and then on Instagram, and he's like in the stories with Lobo and things like that. But it was an amazing experience.
Hey,
It was definitely.
So you guys, if you go in the dictionary and look up bounce back, you're going to see Kiki Black's picture there, because the bounce back factor, 6 months postpartum, your girl over there is killing it. So can you just give a quick little, how do you bounce back in Panama? What's your routine?
For one, listen to your body. That's the key thing to do, is listen to your body. Everybody's journey is going to be different. Not rushing the process, finding the balance between not rushing the process, but also holding yourself accountable to do the things that you know to do. It's easy to get caught up in the thing where it's like, oh, well, I'm a new mom, let me just relax, I just did all the days, let me get some froyo, because that's what I like. But saying, okay, like I need to get back to the things like walking, taking my time walking, even though I may not be able to go and throw around weights all over the place. Okay, let me make sure I'm paying attention and being intentional about my eating, not just for the bounce back, but also because I'm breastfeeding. I got a little one that I'm feeding. So yeah, it's definitely a process. If anybody wants some additional help or some personalized plans, feel free to hit up your girl. I do have a couple of postpartum fitness programs that are for the health of your mind, body, and spirit, because there is also a mental piece that goes to that, especially with the hormone changes as well. But
I'm going to say this real quick for the guys. It is very important if you're preparing for having children, even though we work, it's important to encourage your woman, your wifey, to stay active, to stay in her fighting weight. Fighting weight is a weight that you're going to be in. So if you do get pregnant, you won't feel like, oh, I'm gaining too much weight. You become self-conscious. People didn't know Kiki was pregnant until she was, I think, 5.5, 6 months pregnant. People said, oh, my belly bump, and everybody like, what? You're not pregnant.
I look back at the videos now. I'm like, what was I rubbing on?
I'm like, nobody thought she was pregnant. And so when she's pregnant and she's eating, Kiki stayed active. Like, not intense, but it's important as like the husband, you have to be active as well. You have to set that standard like, hey, even though I know you want to lay back and chill, let's move around because it's good for the baby. Staying at a healthy weight to make sure the baby's good. And it's probably why he was like so lean. You see them guns on. Look at that back. You heard me? He's like, so he came out better because she kept a lean mass. And even the doctor said, like, we barely see ultrasounds where you can see the baby clearly because they have too much body fat. Lobo was just as clear as he is right now. You see his face, he like, man, he look just like the ultrasound. That's what the doctor said. So you want to encourage her to stay in her fighting weight. Put on, with the baby, she's going to put on 25 to 35 pounds. And with that, she has confidence that she can recover and not like, oh, I need to go work out, I need to do this. Because as her body's healing, she's not feeling self-conscious about gaining weight. Because why? She was at her fighting weight throughout the pregnancy. So it's something to keep in mind.
Nice. That's what's up. It's a team effort, you guys.
30 pounds. Again, about 30 pounds. And I'm still between about 15 to 20 pounds heavier, just depends on the day, than I was. But like he said, had I got pregnant at the weight I am now, I would have been a whole lot bigger and it would have been a whole lot harder to recover. So that definitely is important as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of women get pregnant and they're like, oh, I need to get in shape. I need to start eating well. I need to start, plan it ahead, you guys. Don't just let accidents happen and you're not prepared for it. I see that happen a lot. And then sometimes women miscarry, I feel like, because of that factor, because now you got pregnant and now you're detoxing from Coca-Cola and all this stuff, and all that's in your body, and there's a baby feeding off of this. So it's like, do it ahead of time, plan it ahead. Like I don't have kids or anything, but because I plan to not have kids, it was not going to just be something that happened, So I feel like that's a factor that's missing as well. People aren't preparing for this process. Like, give your baby the best fighting chance. Give the mom the best fighting chance. Give the family the best fighting chance. You guys plan it out. Prepare yourself. You can do it. This young couple is over here killing it. And I can't wait for the babysitting list to come out.
Look, and no lie, we was like, man, we need to get out and have some us time. And I was like, he almost to the point where he could be watched by somebody.
Auntie Callie.
He be like, where y'all going? Oh, y'all think y'all about to leave me? Oh my God. In the States, when he was with my mom and with her mom, Buddy was like, I'll let this last for maybe an hour. And that's what they call it. Where y'all at? Because Lobo going crazy. Buddy do not play that where my parents at. I see y'all every day, all day. Y'all think y'all about to be gone from me for more than 2 hours? It's going down.
That's a blessing, though, you guys. It's probably a luxury you wouldn't have been afforded if you were in the States doing your typical routine.
Yeah, because another reason why I left corporate America is I was an engineer. And everyone I knew, the reason why I said I won't have a family is because in our field, we were on the road. I was outside the country for a quarter of the year and on the road for 60% of the year. So I was only in Dallas maybe 2 months out of the whole year. Like when you tally up the days. And I was like, man, you can't raise a family like this. Like you're going to miss everything. But being here, we're privileged and blessed with the opportunity to be present parents.
That's okay. Okay. So let's talk about baby Lobo's future here in Panama. What's your hopes and your excitement? What are you thinking? Like he's a newborn, but there's a lot of things happening here in another country. What are your hopes for him?
What? You got? Look.
Well, one thing that I am really excited about for him is to be bilingual.
Trilingual. Teaches Mandarin as well.
Okay, trilingual. And I think a lot of times when we learn a language and we come back in even our teens or 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and we're like, okay, now I'm going to learn another language, it's a lot harder instead of just knowing it. Like I don't remember trying to learn English, right? It just was there. And so I'm excited for him to not have to try to learn Spanish. It just be there. That's one of the biggest things that I'm excited about too. And then just getting immersed in a different culture. Of course, we'll still be visiting back to the U.S., to Dallas, where his mom is now, New Orleans, where he's from, Atlanta, where my family is. So he'll have those aspects of that culture as well, but just to see different and be exposed to a different way of life that we are just now experiencing as adults.
Yeah. Just trying to follow up what I was about to say. So perfect.
Yeah. You guys definitely want to check out another couple, TJ and Katrina. Watch the video because they give insights. Their child's a little bit older, and so she's giving out some facts about preschool, kindergarten, cost, fees, social life, kid parks, parties. So yeah, this is like the next level. But hey, so is there going to be a Lobo 2.0?
What month is it? We have 14 and a half months to decide.
Okay.
14 and a half months. I said, even though Dr. Roberto said, if I see y'all in February and she's pregnant, I'm going to tell you I told you so. So since we made it past February, because he said he wouldn't be surprised how many people come to me 3 months later saying like, Doc, we're pregnant. So I said, all right, let's get past February. And then it's like, all right, we don't want a big gap. So I said, okay, God has already told me we're going to have 2 boys. So it's going to, within the next 15 and a half months, I'm pretty sure we'll have another.
Another nephew? Yes. You guys, I'm not really a stalker, but I am. So, I have to be involved in this family. Like, there was not by accident that I met you guys. Like, we're so connected. Yep. And I'm really excited to have met you guys here. So you guys are doing it. This is a unique experience. Throw out some advice for young couples wanting to start a life. It's scary. All the families like, what are you doing? It's crazy. Don't do that. It's another country. What advice are you giving to people to step out and do this like you guys have?
I would say as being a man that prides himself on discipline and taking chances for the best potential outcome for your life and your family's life, I believe it starts with a man who can be confident enough to set a plan and run with it. Leaving from a situation, whether you have like a steady income, but it's taking away from the quality of life that you have, that you desire from family, I highly recommend take a chance on the ideas that you have. Make sure that your partner is someone who trusts you and is willing to go through the challenges with you, because there's always going to be challenges. And as a man, you have to trust in God as always. Trust in that provision and set the example for your family. And because the woman, she gonna be crazy sometimes. She gonna be like, this is a lie. I'm stressed out. But she can find security in trusting the husband if he's trusting in God. And because he'll have the solid foundation and the backbone to go out and face those challenges, and that's something I learned and adapted by just taking a leap of faith, moving. So it starts with the man for sure. just trusting in God's provision. That's like the number one thing I'll always tell anybody. Trust in God's provision. Have a plan of what you would like to accomplish. Trust it. Take action on it. Be disciplined. Yo, let them temptation honeys go. You gotta block out those distractions. You gotta block out the things that's going to destroy the foundation that you're trying to build. And for men, it's primarily real talk. Out drinking, just out late, swiping on chicks, like having side pieces. I'm gonna just be real with you. If you want to destroy your family, do those things. But if you want your family to prosper and to grow in abundance, be disciplined, stay focused, lock in, trust God. It's that simple.
Yeah. And on the ladies' end, trust your man to lead. Let him lead. If you have any doubt for the situation, why you up? Let the man lead. Let him be the man. You're not going to agree with everything. You're not going to understand everything. Let him lead. That doesn't mean that you're not going to have a voice. You can still express your thoughts and feelings, but at the end of the day, if this is the man that you believe that God has brought in your life to be the head of your household, let him be that.
So, okay. So give me your top 3 highlights for your sizzle reel of your life now. What are the top 3, like the best?
Number 1, being able to be with baby Lobo and Micah every day. Being able to be present with him, but also being able to have Micah there and see him grow, see him go from just this little thing that was wiggling around to now like having a personality and kind of like, being mischievous in ways, Number 2 would be the growth. Maybe this should have been number 1. The growth spiritually that's happened. Within our family, we both always had a relationship with God, but just truly being able to submit to a man that has submitted himself to God is a huge blessing, and you see it in multiple ways. It trickles down in every area, to the family, to the businesses, etc. And then number 3 is me getting my rhythm back. Being able to go hard in my business, the Feminine and Fit movement, and kind of get back into doing some of those things that I enjoy and being able to serve other women.
For me, number 1 would be to have vision while trusting in God's provision for our life, and of course, accepting Jesus. Number 2, to have the family that I could only dream of. Having a mother that's present, that's understanding, to give birth to. I always wanted my little boy, and having the opportunity to be present, because I asked for that before I even knew I would have children. I said, God, if I ever have children, bless me with an opportunity to be present. I'll do whatever you need of me if you give me the opportunity to be present, and I am living that right now. Number 3, to understand how to serve people that God has created for me to serve. Those are my 3.
You guys make sure that you like, subscribe, share, follow both of these young players from Himalayas. Yeah. Oh, wait. One more question. So on a scale of 0 to 10, what rating does Panama get?
Ooh, I'm going to give it I don't do half digits, so I'm going to give it an 8. It would be a 10 if we had a beach that we could walk across the street to. Because for safety, I'm going to give it. I've had no trouble. And I've lived all around Panama over the past 4 years, 3.5 years, even slums, and I've never had trouble. And I've been out through all hours of the night. So safety, I'm gonna have to give it a 10. Family, a 10. Things to do, an 8. An 8. I'll give it an 8. I'm going to honestly give it an 8 because the family dynamic is probably why you have so much more to do here. But it doesn't have a beach that we can walk to, and we like being in the water. So I'm going to give Panama an 8.
I would have to agree with that. If there was something to add, I would put a closer beach, which of course there's still drivable distances. So it would be the same if we were like, in the States somewhere, Miami, if we weren't on Ocean's Drive, right? But if the water, we can walk to the water, but we can't get in the water where we are. Yeah. The beach would definitely take it to the next level. Yeah. Put it at a 10. I'm not even gonna lie.
This cost of living is like great in my opinion. Like where we live, I'm like, there's no way we'll be living like this, especially as we continue to grow our business and raising a family. Living how we live is pretty nice.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah.
And then I think like overall value too. It would probably, overall value, I would say probably about a 9 to 9.5. Because I feel like Panama is such a family-oriented place. Pretty good bang for your buck. Of course, places like, Colombia is a little bit cheaper, but the safety there is a little bit shaky. Yeah, shaky compared to Panama. So overall value, family-oriented, safety, cost of living, beautifulness of the area, I would definitely get around a 9.
And the health factor, like what you said, your body was not doing the same thing and you moved here and now you have a whole human being that you recreated. So yeah, winning.
It definitely heals you here. The weather, the quality of air, the freshness, the trees. You have trees here that you actually breathe instead of no trees in the cities in the States, so it's definitely an upgrade for people who want a better life, quality of life from a health standpoint. You definitely heal better with the food because you're getting real food. But America is getting an upgrade because I saw that they're getting rid of a lot of those additives and dyes that's in the food. So I guess that's a one win for people in the States. But, but I don't know how long it's going to take. But living here, you do get a much better quality for what you consume.
Nice. Ooh, let me be selfish. Any advice for a single lady like me? Like the dating hasn't been going so well here. So yeah, give me some advice. I'm in Panama as a single girl.
I'm gonna give you the dude. You're not so in Panama. You're not gonna find your guy in Panama. This is why. You're gonna find your guy coming in, but he doesn't live in the States. He's a traveler. He's a nomad. He doesn't have a steady spot. Reason being, when the man has a steady location, he can get complacent. And a single man that's in a place of complacency, especially in a place like Panama, there's women here, a multitude of women here. You have American women, so you can communicate with them. You have Spanish women that you probably can't communicate with if you want to learn the language or not. So as a single woman, when it comes to the dating market, you want to look for men who are visiting Panama. That's my opinion, because when I was here solo dolo, I told everybody, I'm not doing nothing serious here because I live here. Like, but on the go, Aruba, you're gonna find your mate on the move because you want, okay, you're here and I see you here, but then he might be like, I'm still kind of playing the field. But if he's moving around, the communication is good, he's coming busy, like, you know what, look, how about you come visit here or whatnot? So for single women, and I know a lot of brothers here, and if you want a black brother, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna keep it real. Any of my homies may see this video. If you feel I'm attacking you, do better. So, when it comes to the brothers here, I'm not going to recommend nobody that lives in Panama. They had it too easy, and they a lot of them complacent. A lot of brothers here are complacent when they playing a single role because the plethora of women here, because I've lived it. I'm speaking from a place of experience. It will be a major distraction because as soon as someone gives you a little bit of resistance, I've seen it, I've done it, that you will discard it like it's nothing. You won't value the connection because it's, I ain't got to put up with this. Even if the discussion is valid, you will completely disregard it because you're like, I'm not putting up with this, right? So if you're looking for something of substance, I would definitely recommend you trying to be somebody on the go. Keep traveling around Central America, South America. You're gonna find them in the airport. But enjoy dating here. Get out. But that's why I said Panama gets an 8 for me, because things to do. Panama's small. You talk to one person, you're probably gonna talk to somebody else who talk to that person. So it's small, yeah. So you need to be on the move, on the go, and then meet that brother that's coming in town but doesn't live in the States, primarily because his occupation will probably prevent him from making a transitional move here.
That's what's up. You guys, I'm a boundary setter, so I'm always checking to see if I'm passing Kiki's femininity test. So yeah. Kiki, throw out some nuggets for the femininity test. Like, how are we attracting these men?
So one of my dating nuggets would be make sure that you first off decide what you want and make sure that you are that. For example, if you decide marriage and something more serious, get in the Bible. Find out what a wife is, not just the pretty stuff, not just the wedding, the rings, the cute couple pictures, and all of that. Find out what God says a wife is, what God says a marriage should be, and work on the self-improvement. You can't make anybody else do anything or make them not do anything, but what you can do is have an honest conversation with yourself and see, how can I improve? Where can I hold myself more accountable to be better? Myron Golden said it best: be a wife until a husband shows up. If you were just wanting to date and not looking for anything serious, I can't really give advice for that, because I have never been that woman that just wanted to casually date. If you are looking for something more serious, even if it's not marriage, a connection with somebody, having a partner, a significant other, somebody that's going to be there, grow old with, I can speak to that, and that's what my advice would be.
Look, you doing the right thing. Dudes like soft, feminine women. We pretty easy. We real simple. I'm telling you, super simple. Dudes not that complicated. If they are, they troubled on the inside. You do it and you fasting, you being active, you soft. Hey, dude, look, this right here already put you out to be seen. So dudes see you, they're like, she okay. And the more they see you, just be you. You Gucci.
Like I always say, keep it feminine, fit, and friendly, because nobody wants with a bad
the head up. And so there is a balance, ladies. This was me, but I was a surrogate for everyone listening. Like, it's a balance. And so I feel like don't hesitate to follow both of their pages, because they really do give good nuggets on how to present yourself as a man, as a woman, because we got to do better in this whole relationship space, because we have to negate all the negativity coming from media and things destroying these relationships and these marriages. So you guys, if you found this video helpful, like this video, because YouTube needs to know, and circulate it so that other people can like it too. Before we go, real quick, you guys, shout out your handles so that people can follow you.
Okay. Mine is at KIKIIBLACK, and that's on all social media platforms. Again, that's the @KIKIIBLACK.
And you can find me at _bravo.fit_ on Instagram. On YouTube, you can find me as The Fasting Dude. If you want to be more disciplined, get into fasting, holler at your boy.
Oh, thank you so much, you guys. You're so special to me. Thank you for taking out the time. I definitely want to have you guys on here again. Thank you for sharing valuable information. Thank you for being a supporter of Caligurl Life. Like, I give, you give, we give together.
Yes, we love it, man. When we met you, I was like, you know what?
That energy.
We like that energy right there. Yeah.
Vice versa. Igualmente. Yeah. All right, you guys. Well, Caligurl Life, deuces.
Later.
Yeah. So there you have it, you guys. Los Lobos, Bravo, and Kiki are out here winning. These expat encounters are real out here, and people are doing it. So forget what the naysayers are saying and get out here and experience life for yourself. Check the description below I'll list all the information and the contacts that they shared with us through the course of this interview. And don't forget, you guys, you can do it. It ain't easy, but it's possible. Yes, it is. If you like this video, go ahead and kick that like button, hit the subscribe, and tap the notification bell because I have so much more to share and I don't want you to miss it. Thanks so much for watching today, you guys. I share, you share, we share together. I'm Caligurl, and it's my Panama lifestyle. Deuces.